Hey, love. You're here with Melanie on the Shy Love Radio Show, Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio, and Spotify Premium. Now, usually before we begin our segments, we operate and apply a little mental health and wellness, deep breathing exercise technique that is good for bringing you in the present. A lot of times your mind is worried about what happened or what will happen, and you missed out on the present. So we usually just take 3 deep breaths, but now we've added an extra step. I want you to visualize one of your issues. And as you inhale, I want you to inhale all and gather all of the circumstances of that issue. Hold it for 3 seconds so everything can come together, and then blow that shit out. Okay? We're going to pick 3 issues. If you only have one, God bless you. But for the average, seeing that we have coronavirus, financial things going on, police brutality and injustice, people are being evicted from homes, we're going to start out, I think, on the average, 3 issues. So visualize your first issue. See it. Inhale and gather all the components of that issue and hold for 3 seconds. Blow it out. Visualize your second issue. Inhale and gather all of the components of that issue. Hold for 3 seconds to gather it, and exhale. Let it go. The third time. Visualize it. Gather it. Blow that shit out. Now, here in Chicago, we have another program. It's called Operation Legend Chicago. This program targets ex-cons with guns. Operation Legend is actually a brainchild of President Donald Trump. And he has sent these FBI agents to different states in an attempt to help to combat the violence. That's the goal. So they've deployed hundreds of federal agents here to Chicago. This has been on Donnie Boy's bucket list. Chicago has been a target. I mean, he loves, you love Chicago. You love Chicago. You know you do. You know you do. You don't like what's going on here. We don't like what's going on here. But you love Chicago. You keep our name in your mouth. Keep it there. Nobody even brought up Chicago. You volunteered. Oh my God. So he deployed hundreds of federal agents to Chicago. There are now large-scale counter-gang investigations underway involving confidential informants, covert aerial surveillance, and dangerous street work. So basically, they're out here to combat the whole Chirac action. And the tactics that they have been using are interesting, yet seems to be effective. So heads up, I'm gonna tell you a story about this man named Anthony Hamilton. He was sitting on a Chicago street, not parked, but idling there, just pulled up. But he was 12 inches away from the curb. Did y'all know that's illegal? It's illegal for your vehicle to be 12 inches away from the curb, even if it's not parked and you just sitting there idling. So Anthony Hamilton just sitting there, he in his little Lincoln Town car, just chilling, waiting on whatever he waiting on. A CPD patrol unit noticed that the vehicle was allegedly more than 1 foot from the curb. That caused concern. That caused concern to these officers. How dare you? That is against the law. All of this violence that's going on out here, and you are more than 12 inches away from the curb, sir. So, of course, because there's no other violence going on here, the officer decided that this was an issue that needed to be investigated. This was a parking violation. That's how it all seemed right. You don't think that they don't know that it was Anthony Hamilton who was sitting up in this Lincoln Town car? The same Anthony Hamilton who has a 40-year history of felonies? The man, 58 years old, a 40-year history of felonies. Goodness gracious. A case that started as long as a foot-long parking violation has landed him in the federal system facing charges under the Operation Legend banner. I swear, I done heard so many songs about not being caught lacking. That's a career. 40 years. Wow. That is a career, sir. Wow. So you out, you've been in and out, you've been in and out. This your lifestyle. You're doing your thing. They let you out on parole. And they say that you was there for a 2018 conviction and also for unlawful possession of a weapon by a felon. So you sitting there just idling, more than a foot away from the curb. CPD decides to investigate. What did they find on Mr. Hamilton? A Glock 45 pistol, suspected heroin and crack cocaine that appeared to be packaged for sale, and other counterparts of the drug business. You whooped your own ass. First of all, the technique was sneaky and smart because they knew who was behind. They knew who was in that car. Somebody with a 40-year history of felonies. You better believe they knew who was in that car. And I hear a lot of guys who go to jail, like one of their issues when they are being released is that they say that the officers tell them like, see you next time, see you soon. And you know that it's discouraging for a lot of them because after their time in jail, at that point they thinking, you ain't gonna see me back up in here. But they saying, see you soon, see you next time, because you are conditioned to this type of behavior and activity. It is logical for one to return to what they know, return to what works best for them, despite it is good for all. I mean, a parking violation gets you in a federal system. Well, at least it ain't the county. At least it's not the county. Mm. So, you know, they just gave us a few examples of people here in Chicago, ex-cons with guns that they have confronted, that the Operation Legend banner gets more points off of. We got another man here, Jermaine Sutton, 41 years old, 5841. Now, Mr. Sutton was arrested by CPD after they received a call regarding a man with a gun on West Polk Street. They arrested him following a short foot chase, and they say that they saw the butt of a 9mm pistol protruding from his front jeans pocket. A photo of the gun handle is included in the U.S. criminal complaint. I don't want to just see the photos of the gun. Show me his fingerprints that y'all took, and then, you know, highlight the fingerprints on the gun to show us that it matches or something like that, because just a photo. But nevertheless, and thankfully, his little started running. They didn't shoot him, so they caught him. So that part is good. So Mr. Sutton, his record began in 1998 on Cook County drug charges and continued over the years with various prison stays for burglary and gun violations in Illinois and Wisconsin. He is now in the federal system in Illinois facing charges under what? The Operation Legend banner. And they said the man is an accused felon in possession of a gun. Let's move on to this next person, Dwayne Spraggins. He was also arrested as CPD spotted Spraggins holding what appeared to be open liquor on a 5700 block of South Walcott in West Inglewood. What appears to be open liquor. You see the tactics that are being used? You better know that they know who they are approaching. And based on the psychology of behavior, one can positively assume that this knucklehead is still out here doing knucklehead shit. 5841. This your way of life. And we could talk about all of the factors that may have led you to this point. Might have been forced into the game. They don't say how old Dwayne is. So while they was on Spraggins, the federal court paperwork states that while attempting to make contact, Spraggins grabbed his midsection, bent down, and tossed an object underneath a parked vehicle. That's detailed. You can visualize that. You can visualize that. That's detailed. They know exactly how to write this up, don't they? They know exactly how to write it up to make it stick. It's like, Spraggins, I just saw you and I wasn't even there. So while observing Spraggins tossing an object, arresting officers heard the sound of a metal object scraping along the ground and observed a firearm slide from underneath the vehicle up against the curb. A 45 caliber Glock with a felony record dating back to 2010. Now, let's go back to while observing Spraggins tossing an object. That is common. When you hear about arrest or pursuit of the Chiracians or Hertz or whatever y'all call them, when it comes to a person having a weapon, this is usually the process that's done. It's them bending down, they slide up on the cars, they tossing it. It's normal, it's common. So even to just put that in a report, you're not even gonna think anything of it because that's how we know them to, try to get rid of their weapon. Where y'all get all these Glocks from? You hear the Glock, the other one you hear the Glock. So Spraggins was transferred to federal custody and charged as a felon in possession of a firearm. Boy, these felonies something else. These felonies something else. While in Kenosha, you over there in Wisconsin. You supposed to be checking on Wisconsin. What you say, Donnie boy? Once again, he called Chicago a disaster. It's power in the words, you don't know that? You want things to get better and still speak against us? We're not a disaster. There's some disastrous things that's going on that can be fixed. But we as a whole are not a disaster. So watch your little mouth. Thank you very much. So he called Chicago a disaster and then, went into how basically he's stepping in to save the day with his Operation Legend program here in Chicago. He said there have already been 1,000 arrests from the program in Chicago alone during the first month, which was fairly a large overstatement, okay? We know that you exaggerate. It has not been 1,000 arrests. More accurately, it's been about 350 arrests, according to the U.S. Attorney in Chicago. They're saying that the U.S. Attorney, the spokesman for the U.S. Attorney, is here in Chicago. And corrected you through the I-team. We're going to go with that, okay? Now, I guess to help him save face, the author is saying that the larger number stated may be the number for all of the Operation Legend cases all over the country. So know that they're not playing. They said that they was coming and they showing up. And they are using practical tactics. Practical tactics. Each situation, they have put it in such a way to where these three men, they could say, something opposing to how they saying that the story is going, but parking violation. They got a call about a man with a gun. Oh, it looks like this man is engaging in public drinking. It's all illegal. Let's go and investigate. And we had violations like that that led you to federal prison. Wowzers. Wowzers. I guess they say if you want to play dirty, they ain't scared to roll around in the mud with you. This is a sneaky but smart tactic. It is sneaky but smart. You know exactly who was idling in that car. You knew exactly who was holding that apparent open liquor. You knew who that was. They're sneaky but smart. Detective. They got him. They got him. And if these gentlemen who are of age have helped to corrupt the minds of the youth and helped to put these guns up in these boys' hands and not try to show them a better way, but then it's like, how can you show somebody else a better way when you don't know your damn self? You see, the thing about today is that between media and technology, we are able to be exposed to so many different other options, just at our fingertips. And yes, I'm just like this, I've been this way all my life. That may be true, but is it effective? Are you helping other people ruin their lives? And if you are, that is something that you should be held accountable for. And hopefully while they got y'all still stuck in federal prison, you're gonna come in contact with some people who actually care. And it's not too late for you to accept that 58 years old. It's not too late for you to start to deal with some issues you have within to heal yourself. It's not too late to condition your mind. As long as you are still alive and still breathing, it's not too late. Now, it may be a long road back, but it's not too late. And so that it won't be too late for these officers, CPD launches Officer Support System pilot program aimed at preventing suicide situations involving excessive force. So, of course, historically, several years ago, if you mention something about therapy or counseling, it's such a stigma attached to it. And people have issues and were refusing to get treated and still are kind of refusing to get treated because of the stigma attached to counseling and therapy and mental health. That's a trap. Anything that you are engaging in for your well-being, for your healing, is a good thing. Don't allow somebody to tease you, berate you, demean you, make you feel like you don't matter, make you feel like your word don't hold any weight because of whatever issue you have going on, and you are taking the responsibility to seek help for yourself in that area. That is powerful. For you to realize that it's a problem and then get help for yourself, that's beautiful. And I'm proud of yourself because that takes a lot of courage for you to be able to face yourself in that manner, to realize that you need help and that you can't do it by yourself. Although the counselors and the therapists will be teaching you techniques to utilize and apply yourself because you're only going to see them once a week. So what you going to do the rest of the week? You'll have to learn how to apply that knowledge yourself. So that's a great thing. That's a great thing. You deal with it, you free yourself, you move on and you elevate. Instead of giving these circumstances that type of power to bound you and to limit your own personal greatness, limit you from experiencing all the wonderfulness about you as a person. That is, that's great. And you make up your own decision because you're the one living in that personal hill. Them people around you not in your head. They don't have to live with what you have to live with. So love yourself enough to do something to try to help yourself. Okay? And so, in light of everything that's going on with injustice and police brutality and the need for reform and the need for change, the Chicago Police Department program hopes to prevent officers from committing suicide and from having bad outcomes when they are engaging in the street. So that's good. Deputy Superintendent Barbara West said, the culture and climate about law enforcement being this hardened shell is actually changing. Well, that is wonderful. And I would love for it to change enough to where the public can see it and experience it. CPD launched a pilot program called the Officer Support System, SSO. It's a data-driven program to proactively help supervisors identify officers who may need support services. SSO was developed with the help of University of Chicago's Crime Lab. Thank y'all. University of Chicago, be honest. They are involved. The system itself is a pointer system. It says that this person is more likely in need of help than others in the department. It's based on data collected every day by the department about an officer's history, on and off, as well as on and off duty complaints. If an officer is identified as someone who needs help, their immediate supervisor is notified. That's good. That's good. It's the supervisor's job to spend time one-on-one with the officer to better understand what's going on with that officer. Hmm. Maybe there's something going on at home that isn't part of the data, which is also true. You have to understand that these people have lives outside of uniform, and they have issues at home as well. So it is then up to the supervisors to get the officers some help. They could be referred to training, they could be referred to counseling, they could be referred to outside resources. The goal is to prevent suicide or situations involving excessive force. The pilot program will be launched at the 5th District. So this all came about because 2 years ago on the South Side, at the South Side District, 2 officers committed suicide. So they plan to test a pilot program in District 5 for the next few months and then expand it to all the districts in 2020. Woo! What we at this September? No, 2021. Yeah, they're gonna expand it to all the districts in 2021. We still in September 2020. This program has potential. It has potential. I like the fact that they are going off the history, on the job, off the job, and stuff to first reach out to the officers who are exhibiting, behaviors where they need some type of help. So that's good. Um, the supervisor has to sit down with it, which I kind of understand, but at the same time, it's going to be a little time consuming. So is this going to be like just extra work for the supervisor? Are any of his other duties going to be delegated to others? Well, because when you sit down and talking to somebody about trauma and issues, that can take a minute. That can take a minute, especially if you all have the type of relationship where they feel comfortable enough to actually start to talk. So I'm just wondering. But this program definitely has potential. So let's see how it works out. Let's see how it works out and see if it's actually effective enough to where the public sees the difference in the police. Okay? Yes, you're trying. You're trying. So let's talk about how in Streeterville, these men robbed a concealed carry holder at gunpoint. Lord have mercy. You took a class, had a little firing range section, paid a little money, legally got you a gun, only to have some men rob you at gunpoint, take your possessions and your gun. Like that is, I don't want to say only in Chicago. I don't want to say only in Chicago. That's wow. That's wow. So a 23-year-old woman, it's a lady, y'all. It's a lady, 23 years old, went and got her paperwork together so that she could legally carry a concealed handgun. Now, she was sitting on a bench in the 400 block of North New Street around 3:45 a.m. So I know. What was she doing? 23 years old, a female, outside on the bench at 3:45 a.m. I don't know, maybe she wanted to get some air. But nevertheless, she had a little piece on Hopefully it didn't have the bullets in it, because you know you ain't supposed to carry with the bullets in it. But she had a little piece on her. For whatever reason, she's sitting out there on the bench. About 3:45 a.m. Three men approached her and demanded her property. She turned over her valuables and her gun. She like, fuck, Lord have mercy. She got saved with her life. That is a mess up feeling, like to kind of prepare yourself for whatever you think may come up. And then, like, they take your stuff and your gun. She just turned it over, which was smart. They didn't include her name, but hugs to you. Hugs to you. Because I know that was a scary situation. And then it's three men, 23 years old out here. I don't care if she was 83. Then damn, three men with a gun on a woman? God damn. See, these are the evil bastards that you hear Superintendent Brown speaking about. Evil bastards. Why? Why did it take three of y'all with some guns on this little lady? Did y'all know that she had a conceal and carry on her? So, y'all can't, made sure that it was going to go the way that you all wanted it to go? Now, they say she turned over her valuables and her gun, but they say the victim provided video of the offender's vehicle, which bore a license plate with BN7, excuse me, correction. License plate number BN7. She is not injured, and Area 3 detectives are investigating. So if you know of anybody with a license plate number that has BN7 somewhere within the license plate, please contact Area 3 detectives. Okay, so sweetheart, they say you turned over your valuables and your gun. So how did you provide a video of the vehicle? You kept your phone? They let you keep your phone? Moving on. Let's please stuff. But moving on. This is a tip, and this is actually from the news. They wanted to let you all know that if you need to hide a gun, don't do it under CPD surveillance cameras. Jesus. Jesus. Hello. Hello. Do you see why I argue my point on insanity? Is this behavior a call for help? Is that what y'all saying? Is that what you're saying? Are you asking for help? The fact that you would have to publish something to tell criminals not to hide guns under CPD surveillance cameras. Wow. There's a disconnect. So I'm telling y'all why they telling y'all not to have a gun under CPD surveillance cameras. Are they low key paying y'all? What's going on here? Is y'all getting some type of person doing this stuff and you getting caught and then it's like they getting accolades something, but they hitting y'all on the back end? Something ain't right. Something not right. Something not right. Jesus. Or do you just really don't give a fuck? Not even about yourself. Yeah, donkey. So we got a couple here. We have a couple. Miller and Mason. Don't get a letter. We got a couple here. Their car crashed in one of those divvy bike stations in Streeterville. What's going on in Streeterville? Is that the? I don't even think that's the hood. Is Streeterville the hood? I don't even think that's the hood here in Chicago. This energy spreading, huh? So they in Streeterville. They end up crashing their little car into a divvy bike station. What you don't know, what you don't know, is that they have police monitoring the little divvy bike stations, y'all. So this we got going on. Police who were monitoring the situation via surveillance cameras saw them fumble with a gun before patrol officers arrived. So they like, oh shit, we had to crash. The police gonna come up. We got to get it together, right? Not knowing that the whole time it was already some police watching. This is a lesson learned, ain't it? And actually, that has been very effective, back in the day, or in them little places where they don't have the cameras, because no face, no case, you know what I'm saying? No weapon, no proof. But in this case, it was already some police there just through the cameras. So we don't call them Lil Bonnie and Clyde. We don't call them Lil Bonnie and Clyde. So Lil Bonnie and Clyde are both facing felony weapons charges. Miller, the man, was the driver who crashed and was seen switching seats with Mason, the female. He was also observed reaching under the driver's side dash, retrieving a handgun and placing it inside Mason's purse while she held it open. Pretty girl. Pretty girl. Stop letting them put y'all in these situations. Stop. I don't like that ride at that time. What I gotta die for? Why we can't ride and elevate? Why can't we ride and elevate? Why do I have to ride and die for you? What's going on? Ride or die? What is we doing here? No. No. Stop letting them put y'all in these situations. Possession is 9/10 of the law, baby. And he loved you so much he just gave you a case. Okay, maybe he was drinking, I don't know what the situation was. He crashed. So you like, okay, you got whatever going on, you still on parole, I got you. You know what I'm saying? I'll take that ticket. He put a gun in your purse, babe. Gun. Whole time, some other police officers was watching the whole thing. Changed your whole life. Changed your whole life. Why don't y'all love y'all girls enough to keep them out of them type of situations? Or a damn show, if y'all decide that y'all want to ride together and this is what, neither one of y'all is feeling the pressure from the other to do so, this is y'all thing, don't sacrifice her. How you gonna sacrifice things you say you love her? What type of love is that? Because you was already on parole and you ain't had no business having it. So while they making their moves, the police officers who watching through the surveillance camera, through the little pod camera, They tipped off the arriving officers. So the officers already getting out the car, knowing what it is. Why you think you finna put your little story together and just go ahead and take this little ticket or this little quick arrest and bond out, about this little car crash. Whole time they already know. So Bonnie, once they arrive, she places her purse on the trunk of the car, and the officers allegedly saw the gun lying inside. Was it one of them little purses with the little ropes where you just the little purses we carry where we got like little variety of things and it don't necessarily close up, we just hold stuff but we just, throw it on our little shoulder. Was it one of them type of little purses? Or was it a purse that you could actually close up? And if it was a purse that you could actually close up, although they already knew it was there, your man didn't even cover you until you just close the bag. So I guess it got real for Bonnie. Because when she found out the jig was up, she told the police that the gun belonged to Clyde in front of the dash cam on the cop car. So she can't retract the statement. She can't say it was made under duress. The dash cam was on the whole, the cameras was on y'all front, back, side, the whole time. Judge Susan Ortiz said that her actions were not smart before setting her bill at $5,000 and being charged with unlawful use of a weapon. You ain't even bust at nobody. She ain't shoot nobody. Now, Clyde is on parole for driving with a suspended license. You ain't had no business driving in the first place. If you know that you ain't got no business driving and your girl papers are together, put her in the driver's seat. That's what you should do. And make sure that all the papers on the car are accurate. This type of stuff that gets your oops upside your head. And I bet Bonnie's family and friends was telling her not to mess with this man. She chose. You gotta live with that and just make better decisions. We all live and we learn. So now Clyde is charged with unlawful use of a weapon by a felon and driving on a suspended license again. Judge Ortiz set his bail at $50,000 and ordered him to go on electronic monitoring if he can't post the $5,000 bond. She also ordered him held without bond because the state is considering revoking his parole. I know that when you all woke up that morning and decided to go on that ride and do what you do, I know y'all didn't anticipate this. I know y'all didn't anticipate this. So now, if it's just them two, somebody got to come up with about $10,000 if they want both of them to walk. Y'all sitting on $10,000? I mean, depending on how you hustle and move, you might be. But did this young lady have a record prior to this incident? The story does not indicate it, but so many times we are hearing situations where young ladies are falling in love being manipulated, being molded, being deceived, so gullible that they know exactly what's going on and still with it. And your whole little life changing. Do he really love you to even put you in that position? Love on yourself a little harder, ladies. Let that pretty on the outside match the pretty on the inside. Do some self-work and some healing. It's a reason why you are attracted to these type of men. Live within yourself to find out why. It'll change your life. Dang. She didn't shoot. She didn't point the gun at nobody. She just had it in her purse. And she didn't even put it in her purse. He put it in her purse. Wow. This is good at the bad, ain't it? Goodness gracious. Goodness gracious. But as we say here at the Shy Love Radio Show, Pop Radio Worldwide, iHeartRadio and Spotify Premium, we all have, some more healing to do, some reconditioning to do, some knowledge to apply. We have to make up our minds to do so, discipline ourselves to see the changes that we want to see, because you did not get to this point overnight, and more than likely, it's going to be a little journey to get back to where you're trying to go, or to move forward to where you're trying to go. But it is definitely possible. Hugs to little Bonnie and Clyde. Y'all living a life, and goddamn,